Welcome to the Women's Connection. I'm Barrie-Louise Switzen, your moderator. The Women's Connection is a program about events shaping women's lives and helping one gain authentic power on a personal or professional level. So won't you stay tuned? Welcome. We all go on crash diets. We go on regular diets, if there is such a thing as a regular diet. But with me is a woman who has come up with a very simple diet that you can still eat the foods you love on this yo-yo diet effect. And I would like to welcome Eleaonora Lennart. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You wrote a book because everybody was going on this yo-yo diet, as you would call it. You wrote the book called The Biochemical Machine. We're up to number 2. I haven't even read number 1 yet. But what really prompted you to write this book?
From my personal experience, it's nothing which I did not try. I tortured myself through many, many years. I suffered like everybody else, trying diets, doing it again, falling back, until I became very, very ill. And being a researcher by heart, sooner or later I thought it cannot be that our generation has such big problems with eating when our ancestors lived happily for millions of years and didn't have diet gurus, didn't need blood types, didn't need glycemic index, didn't need calorie counting, whatever. So something is wrong. And so I did my research together also with Professor Leitzman. And the result is that we came to the conclusion we are a biochemical machine. Humans are a biochemical machine with clear-cut rules which developed over the course of 200 million of years. So that's why we have to start and to follow. So we did research, and the result is a perfect match of food chemistry with body chemistry. What it means is there is a chart in the book which is easy to follow for everybody. And
that's the A and the B
the
method.
A and B.
And then you can say you can mix the A's with the neutrals and the neutrals with the B's, but you can't mix the A's and the B's.
Let me put it, it's easier than it sounds. It's not like all these charts which are out there and confusing people even more, and everybody who suffers from weight problems, and almost everybody suffers from weight problems because the supermarkets are so seductive, you cannot resist. So no, it's very simple. This is here the biochemical rules, how to handle new history items. New history items are the one which are damaging us, which means we have, and that's the revolutionary part of the research, our body digests proteins in 2 different ways. The old history protein in the middle chart, 24/7, which you can eat anytime, which is healthy. And then the new history protein is digested by our biochemical machine differently. So what people learn, they can eat anything and everything at any time as long as they know how to handle the bad protein. So I want to repeat, there are good proteins and there are bad proteins. So
which is the bad proteins? B chart or A chart?
B chart.
B chart is the bad proteins.
This is a bad protein.
Okay, for example?
For example, all cooked meat, cooked fish is bad protein. That does not mean that people cannot eat it. They can eat it. They just learn how to eat it. So they will not have constipation, will not have energy loss, will not feel ill or tired or whatever. So many people believe that carbohydrates is a big problem. This is not true. Formula is eat good proteins with carbohydrates, and you have never any problems ever in your life. Know how to handle the bad proteins, which is on the charts. That's the red. They are in color red and gray, and that people can eat it. I do it. When it's Thanksgiving, I eat tons of turkey, but I eat it with, for example, oranges or salads and apples. So it doesn't hurt my biochemical machine because cooked meat changes chemistry. The good proteins in the middle column, which you can eat 24/7. So it means any time.
For example, what is?
For example, is smoked fish, smoked meat, cured and dried meat, fish, and it tastes fantastic. But the protein is alive, and certain cooking process kills the protein. So I say it in simple words. It's not a scientific term, but it's more clearer than I use a scientific term. So that's basically the biochemical A and B. Which the reason why I did it is I wanted really people. Eating is such a wonderful part in our life, and it's something it's so important because
we can't live without it.
Yes, we can live without it. And it's very stressful not to eat. And all the diets out there, regardless what they are telling the people, it's a starving. And the yo-yo effect is what yo-yo does not sound as bad, as dangerous as it really is. Yo-yo means it's a starvation shock. The system thinks we are crazy, that we are starving voluntarily. What happens, it weakens the immune system. So the consequences are much bigger and dangerous than people think. Also, people who believe that they eat the bad protein, believe they have enough protein, are suffering sooner or later from protein deficiency, which is the cause of most illnesses. So that's, and then again, people can eat anything, but they know it. The biochemical machine gives them the control over their feelings, over their energy, over their mistakes. They know it. It's no problem.
So what you're basically saying is that the chemicals from one food source could be counterproductive eating it with another food source, and that's when you have terrible side effects. Not so much immediately, but it's possible down the line.
What do you mean by that? I didn't really understand it. What do you mean? Which chemicals?
Okay, the chemicals in one food.
Yeah.
Don't agree with the chemicals in another food.
Honestly?
Yeah.
This is all guru talk. Sorry. No, tell you.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're clearing this up.
I tell you what, if you just take your right hand,
okay,
put it on the chart, on this upper part,
right,
the red and the gray. Anything else can be eaten anytime you want. You don't even need to think about it. From chocolate to beer to whatever, to bread to good, bad carbohydrate, good carbohydrates have one and the same digestion. Carbohydrates is never a problem. The protein is a problem, and that's why if people know that, they have never a problem again. They have control over their weight, control over their health, and they never. How can I say it? The word control is even too harsh for what really is happening. You live it, you know it, and you do it for the rest of your life. And you don't even need to control it, because as long as you know it, you don't get fat from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times eating wrong. Nobody. Okay, you gain a little bit, but it's not a big deal. You go back, everything is fine. You don't get ill because you eat a couple of times wrong. That's not true, okay? But if you are ill, of course, for the first time, you have to be very strict with level 2. We have here level 1 for healthy people, level 2 for ill people. So that's the only thing. If somebody is already diabetic, of course, he has first to heal his biochemical machine. Because diabetic means, which is, by the way, number 1 killer today, diabetics means all your spare parts are ill. The kidneys, the pancreas, everything. So you have to feed your cells. And here's one point, what I always say, it's not about food. It is about cells. The whole thing is what you do with the biochemical A and B. You are feeding your cells. You're
cleansing yourself.
Cleaning yourself. You're picking up their functions. They are starting to repair the bad things. And suddenly, this guy for example, when I showed you this letter, who is doing it now for 2.5 weeks, he said he feels rejuvenated. And it's true, it's a side effect. So everything is getting back on track by itself.
Okay, for an example, let's start with, what do you have breakfast?
I have milk and apples. Whole milk. Oh, this is a very important point. I know that low fat and all this low thinking is a wonderful sales tool. It's pitch and great to sell, and it's damaging the people. It's damaging the cells because cells need fat, real fat. So the day starts with how many you want, whatever you want is fine, with whole milk. No low fat, no half fat, no whatsoever, no non-fat.
There's so much I hear so much about the fact that you should eliminate dairy products from your diet because it's not healthy for
Who
you.
said so?
A lot of nutritionists, a lot of...
It's easy to sell. I don't know why they say it. You can live from milk 1 year. You would die in a couple of weeks from cooked meat. In Tibet,
Yes.
their punishment for the felons was to give them only cooked meat to eat, and they died painfully after a couple of weeks. That's why people have so much constipation and heartburn. That's the point. I don't know why healthy dairy products. Our ancestors lived, they didn't kill their walking refrigerators, which was a cow. They lived from the cow. They used the product and lived happily and became very old. And we are killing our cows. We are not using the best part of it. We are throwing everything away what our cells need.
Let's go back. Okay, because when we originally talked,
Okay.
I tried this apples and whole milk.
Okay.
All right. I had some terrible side effects
Yeah.
that I stopped.
Okay, so side effects is described in the book. You said you admitted yourself. You didn't read the first one. You didn't read the second one.
I didn't know what I was supposed to expect here, but it was just...
You trust my words. But it's worth to read it. It's not so much text, but it's really also what Professor Leitzman had to say is one of the biggest authorities in this field in the world. Anyway, it's written there. If you start with the milk and apple therapy, because that's not only the breakfast, it's also like a therapy because it's healing arthritis, healing a lot of heart problems.
Oh, really?
And so on. Yes,
Okay.
and diabetics, for example. What happens is, and I say it in a very simple way, you must see your biochemical machine like little people working inside. So you give them finally your cells the right thing to eat. They work hard to get rid of the poison and all the things which you stored for many, many years. So the diarrhea is, or also shooting pain, or sometimes feeling headache, also, is simply the healing crisis or healing phase. You can crisis phase, reality is the word is crisis, but you can also call it healing phase.
So, like when they say eat an apple a day, keep a doctor away.
Absolutely right. There's a point, I think I said it already, but I say it again because it's so important. 2 apples and whole milk is like a whole bowl of cereal. The only difference is, first of all, your body has everything your body needs, all the fiber, which is important for your energy. You feel good. You will not be tired after eating. You will not be hungry for 4 to 5 hours because your body is satisfied, has everything.
My husband wound up in a hospital.
Yes.
With severe diabetes. All his organs were failing.
Yeah.
And you went in and just brought him his 3 meals a day or 4 meals a day, and that basically saved him.
Yeah. The nurses were my co-conspirators, because otherwise he would have eaten behind my back the food which was there. And the CEO from the hospital came and said he has never seen something like that before.
How long did it take to have your husband
back on track?
Yeah.
By the way, he was diabetic. He has 570 blood sugar level. So this is near coma.
Wow.
And this was very heavy, and he had a breakdown.
This is even with medication. Was on medication?
This was before medication.
Before medication.
Then he recovered, and the blood sugar level went down until around 100.
Right.
And then he could reduce his medication dramatically, and so on. Now he happy. He can eat everything. He can eat even from time to time his bad protein. Not as much as other people could do it if they are healthy, but he can. But he eats it. He knows himself. If he doesn't eat it with oranges, he would have constipation. That he would, it would be full, and he knows it. So in these things now, in the meantime, he's very responsible for himself.
And I know you talk about diabetes in the book as far as changing your eating habits.
Yeah, here's the point. I have seen many diabetic programs, and I feel sorry for the diabetics who are doing it, because in the morning they are told to eat like a king, a lot of bread, and here's the point: we have the liberalism. The liver does not like in the morning carbohydrates.
Ah.
Okay, I would like also to talk about carbohydrates because Guru capitalized especially on this carbohydrate thing. And if people don't know this, of course you get fat, but not because of carbohydrates, but there is something they don't know. So we should liberate the people from this not so funny thing in their lives. And coming back, you wanted to know. Oh yeah, okay. And I've seen programs from diabetics and. First of all, in the morning, they should, because of the liver rhythm, not eat any carbohydrates, which they are told, because this is loading. The liver needs her time to get rid of the poison. That's a normal process every day. Eggs, for example, if you eat just this white egg is very bad. I know there are gurus out there who are selling people with the white egg. White egg is the same like for a baby swimming in the water. I mean, this is what we are eating. This is bad sulfur protein, so we shouldn't be eating this at all. We should just eat the egg yolk, which is the egg. So
Oh, really?
yeah, but and honestly, if I eat, I react immediately. So that's not good.
What about lunch? What do you recommend for lunch?
Yeah, depends if somebody is working or
Yeah, because New Yorkers are on the go.
yeah.
There's no time for lunch.
Yeah. What do they eat normally? Let me put it this way.
Well, every day is different. I mean,
Yeah.
like I grab whatever I can wherever I
Just
am.
give me an example. I tell you if it's right.
Well, I know for today was a bad day because we
Yeah.
had meetings. I had 2 bagels. No, I had 1 bagel and with cream cheese, and then I had half a muffin.
Did you?
That was my lunch.
Good shape.
And then later on, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I had to go see some property, so I came back and picked up some macaroni and cheese. Now that was my lunch. That was terrible. That was a horrible lunch.
And if
But
everything what you said would be fine 3 hours later, and eat all of that. As long as macaroni has neutral, as a good protein,
just
which
by
is
itself.
mozzarella.
But that's by itself.
Oh, okay. Well,
All
then
right.
no problem at all.
No problem.
That's important. That macaroni, for example, in the books there are also in this $5 menu for 2 cookbooks there are recipes for how to eat from pizza to pasta to whatever, just the right cheese. And so when people know that, you can get it in every pizzeria everywhere. So it's very easy. But let me come back to what you said. That would be for lunch. Chicken with salad or oranges, things like that, or mozzarella with tomatoes and onions, which I like. And later, from afternoon on to night, carbohydrates, which means your bagels, your muffins, your macaroni, and potatoes and wheat bread. But yeah.
So in other words, I ate it backwards, is what you say.
say.
But you know what? But I will say this: I've been learning to make tomato sauce, and I came home and had a big bowl of tomato sauce with some risotto, and that's risotto.
Yeah,
okay, and I've been eating a lot of that.
So this is there's a A&B sauce which would fit to the risotto.
Okay.
It's in the, you see it in there's the red sauce with meat and tomatoes. On the side, how to eat it, you can eat it with chicken, with meat, with anything.
But I just eat it by itself, and I usually put onions in it, and I always
by yourself. Yeah, when you eat by yourself, then there's no problem.
And then I put I put onions and mushrooms in it.
Yeah.
Creminin.
It's perfect. Mushrooms. If you would, instead of red sauce, if you would have used the white sauce, then it's perfect. And you can eat it endless.
All I do is chop up the tomatoes and just eat it.
Without cooking?
I cook it.
Because if you eat it raw, the tomatoes raw, it's chemically different than eating it cooked. They change chemistry. Spinach and tomatoes.
Oh, well, I eat it cooked.
Yeah.
But then I always have so much, I always prepare so much that I have it left over, and then I take it out of the fridge and I just eat it cold.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
As long as you don't eat it with pasta, then it's fine. If you eat it with chicken, it's fine.
Okay.
These are small things you can learn. If people really want, these are small things people can learn. And see, like, I have whole families. By the way, what I really would like to emphasize, yeah. Yeah, emphasize. This is something for whole families. Children love it. Husbands love it because they can drink their beer.
Eat pizza.
Yeah, pizza, eat everything. a lot of men started it and got their wives into it. So it's interesting. Normally it's the other way around. And that's important. That whole, if you want to have a movement which go biochemical is going to be, I have many people on board in the meantime, then it should be something that makes the family happy. Not, oh, we have to count this. No, nobody would. You cannot ask your children not to eat McDonald's or any fast food restaurant, okay, pizza, whatever. You cannot. So you just have to know how. And it's very easy. And it's fun. It's fun for
Well,
them.
you've included quite a few recipes in your book, but you also gave me a book called $5 Menus for Two. What is your favorite recipe?
Oh, I love, you won't like what I say now, but I love it, really. It's a power salad with wheat bread. I love it. And because power salad, by the way, I would like to mention this, people at the beginning at least, until they really are back on track, they should eat it as often as possible.
Power salad.
Power salad with either potatoes or wheat bread, or they can eat it with a lot of
What's
things.
in your power salad?
Here's the point. Almost everything what they want, from lettuce, of course, onions, carrots, tomatoes, cucumber, mushrooms, whatever you want, as much as possible, because variety is. And very important, cauliflower. Cauliflower is like the apple. It's like a biochemical machinery in itself. It's written in the book, and it's breaking down the fat and things like that. That's really good, and it tastes good. Broccoli, whatever people want, you can get everything in it. And
so it's like the kitchen sink for a salad.
Yeah. If you want to say it this way, it's fine.
All right. Because I know you also got involved with this because your mother was ill.
Yeah.
And want to talk about that?
Yes, of course.
What happened with your mother?
You mean her osteoporosis?
Right.
Yeah. Because she thought, my mother had almost every illness at that time. And it was very difficult to get her into this because, as I said, husbands and families and mothers are the last person on earth to listen.
Right.
And then somehow my sister did it to get her into it, and she was very old already, so she thought it's her age, there's nothing she can do. And she started it, and her bones recovered. I mean, if already damage is done, it's not so that it goes like a miracle thing, everything goes back. No, but the illness stops there, and the pain were gone. And that's the most important point, that she was living without pain from then on. And so she was 85.
What did she find that was the most beneficial to her for the diet?
Oh, I'm not sure if she mentions this, because we were so happy that she did it in the first place. So we didn't want to give her the feeling that she is doing here something. We just
embraced her.
Yes. So, and she just was. My doctor said I'm a phenomenon. He has never seen somebody in my age that you see it, and she was very happy. Yes, and she recovered. People think that she's 70 and
Wow.
she's 85.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you suggest for women going through menopause?
There is a whole chapter in the new Biochemical Machine 2 about menopause. Because if people eat, and they have to do a level 2, so that's important. Say if people have the hot flashes and all these things, they have to do it like ill people. They are not ill, but they have to do it a little bit stricter. What happens is there are I don't know the word now. Besides, the kidneys are little things. They will pick up the function and they will produce hormones enough to live happily ever after. So I don't know anything about hot flashes ever at all. And this will happen to everybody because also the cells will pick up the functions, will do their best, and will get everybody in great shape. This is interrupt it.
Go ahead.
No, that's why I'm so angry at gurus, at all these diet gurus, and especially medical doctors who are giving their name for diets, and their ghostwriters are writing the books. They don't even know what's written in their books. Okay, and here's the point: if people are 20 or 25 and doing these crash diets, okay, good, it's not killing you, because your cells are working full speed. But when you turn 30, 35, things change. The cells are slowing down every decade. And that's the point. If older people, everybody is older after 30, so we are 70 years of our life, we are older people, okay? So most people are older people. And here's the point, then dieting is torture, because your cells cannot keep up with what we are doing to them, this starvation shock, this voluntary starving, not giving them the right thing, taking away the important fat and things like that. And by the way, milk, low fat or non-fat, the important fat is gone, but chemicals and sugar have been added, so it should taste better. So you are doing nothing but bad things. I know.
What would you like to leave the audience with?
I would like to leave the audience with this book gives them the liberty and the liberation to have control over their biochemical machine for the rest of their lives. Will never ever suffer a stressful deprivation or starvation shock or get fat or unnecessarily ill. So
wonderful. I can't tell you how wonderful this is. This has just been so terrific. Thank you so much for joining us.
You are terrific.
It's beautiful. And I hope you've learned something, because I know I have learned something about our body system, and I hope to hear from you. So please write us, and if you have any questions, Eleaonora will be delighted to answer them. Now,